everybody, today I'm going to inform you guys on the impact that social media can have on our lives. So just to start off, how many of you guys have social media? Okay. And how many of you guys would say you use it daily? Yes, all right. I too use social media daily, and I've been using it since like middle school. So it's been very avid in my life. I feel like most people have used social media. And according to the article, Social Network Usage and Growth Statistics, written by Brian Dean, he says that 4.48 billion people use social media. And there's only like 7 billion people in the world. So that's like more than half of the people in the world use social media, which shows that it can impact all of us. And if you look at the graph that is presented on your paper, you can just see that as the years go on, it progressively gets more. So back in 2015, there was only about 2 billion people that used social media. And then as much as last year, there's about 4.5 billion people. So the main point of this speech is I want to talk about the impact that social media can have on our lives and how the impact can go unnoticed since it has become such a norm. Social media can have positive and negative effects. Below I have listed a few of those. Some pros that social media can have is it can allow us to have reassurance in our lives. It can allow us to feel that there are other people like us. It can also be like an outlet for us to where we can escape the stresses of our real lives. A few cons are FOMO, which is also known as the fear of missing out. Sometimes we don't want to get off of social media because we constantly want to see what's going on in people's lives. And it can also cause comparisons where we see what people look like, what they have, the money they have, and we start to wish we had it. So I'm going to break down the 4 reasons a little more in depth. The first one being reassurance. So there is a man named Burke Weedman, and he says that being a part of a community of like-minded peers and finding other people like yourself. That's how he explains social media. It's being able to find people that are similar to yourself, because sometimes where we live in the environment we're in, there's nobody that's really like us. They may not think the same, they may not dress the same, they might be better than us, and we can't really feel like we're connected to those people. But when we go on social media, we're able to find people that are similar to us. Even though they may live like states away, we may never see them face to face, we can have that connection that, hey, we're not alone in this aspect. The second way is that it can be an outlet. Social media can allow you to kind of escape the problems that you're feeling. So if you get home and it's stressful, everything's loud, you can go in your room, turn on social media, there's videos you can watch, there's pictures you can see, you can just scroll and kind of let off that stress. It's definitely a big distressor, like after work and stuff, just laying there, watching funny videos, emotional videos, whatever. It allows you to feel like a sense of emotion that you may not get in your actual life. And then now onto the cons, because as I said, there's both positive and negative side effects to social media. One of the cons is FOMO, again, the fear of missing out. There's an article entitled Adaptation and Validation of the Online Fear of Missing Out. And it says that individuals become constantly preoccupied with what others are doing online and feel unable to log off. So sometimes when we're on and we just keep seeing that people are out at the beach or they're out hanging out, we want to be there, and so we feel that if we stay on the social media, we're actually being there. So we stay on it, we keep updates with them, we keep updates with people's pictures, and we just scroll, and it causes us to kind of not be intact with what's going on in our lives. We really don't pay attention to what's going on outside or what's going on with like people that are actually in our house, that are close to us, because we're so worried about what people are doing on the weekend, what people are going to be doing, and then we feel like we are feeling left out, which can also cause us to feel like a sense of sadness, because you're like, oh, I'm not there doing that with them. So that's one problem that can come from social media. Lastly, comparison. Comparison is probably one of the biggest side effects to social media, because we see all these pictures of people. They might look better than us because their pictures are edited, or their lives might seem more exciting, they have a better house than us. And when we see someone that we think is better, it causes kind of like a messed up self-worth. We think that we're not as good as them, we think that they have an easier life because we're only seeing a glimpse of what they're showing us. Because one thing about social media is it doesn't show the whole picture. It basically takes about like the good parts of it and cuts out all the bad. So when we see it, we think that we're the only ones going through problems, the only ones that are struggling, and this really affects how we view ourselves, view our life. Just to close, I would like to say just a statement that says, social media has both pros and cons, as we have seen throughout the speech. It can make us feel both accepted and left out. It can make us feel great about ourselves, and it can make us hate everything about ourselves. Whether social media has affected you positively or negatively, it's almost inevitable that it has affected you. Because we've used it for so long, most of us have been using it for years, it's become such an everyday thing that we kind of go unnoticed with how it has affected us. So the best thing to do is just, keep an eye out for how it's affected you, because I think when we start acting like it hasn't, it's when we allow it to affect us more. So, thank you.